Hello guys and welcome back. Hope all of you are doing well this week. In this week's video, it's time to plant the sunken forest. As you guys can see, I have a lot of plants. So I really have a mix of a lot of carpeting plants, epiphytes, I have some crypts, some bucephalandras, some mosses. So I really have a big range of plants to go into this tank. The plants for this build have kindly been sent in by Denali Plants, so thank you very much to them for supporting me throughout my builds and for sending me this crazy selection of plants. I would also like to say that the plants did pass quality and packaging control, as you can see, so that was good news. So I think I'm going to start off with the mosses. It's just going to be a lot easier for me. I'm going to be using regular super glue. So this is liquid super glue. You could use anything. You could even use fishing line, thread, whatever works for you. It's just going to be easier for me to use super glue. So I have two types of mosses. I have weeping moss and I have riccardia. What's really nice in using 2 or 3 different types of mosses is going to be the colors and the textures. So you could just use one type of moss, that would be fine. But using a few different ones is really going to give you different sorts of colors. It's also going to give you different sorts of textures, as weeping moss actually grows downwards. So it's really going to weep over the trees in time, and it's really going to give this very mature forest look. So when you're preparing plants that come in vitro is in these little cups. So they are pest-free, algae-free, so that's really cool when you're starting a new setup. If you're worried about snails, that's really a good thing. So it's straightforward. You just take them out. They come in this little gel, so they're actually growing inside this gel. So we can see it here on the pictures. You just take it off and give it a good rinse. So that's what I'm going to do with every single in vitro pot I have. I'm really going to take my time to clean them correctly, and then I'll be ready to glue them down. Okay, so that's the weeping moss done. I'm going to wait a little bit for the riccardia because I'm scared while I plant this, while I glue it down, it's going to dry out. So I'm going to wait a little bit and I'm going to do this one first. The method I'm using to glue down my moss is pretty straightforward. I just coat the branches or the pieces of wood with my liquid super glue. Using liquid super glue I find is really nice because it really spreads out evenly on the surface you're trying to glue your moss on. It doesn't, like with gel super glue, make these little blobs, and it's just very uneven to stick down moss with gel super glue. So I really do prefer the liquid kind. After evenly spreading out the super glue, I just come in with very small patches of moss. So I start my way at the top and I work my way all the way down. I'm also very careful in the way I place my mosses, so you can see the growing pattern here is facing downwards. So I am gluing it in that same direction. So it just ensures when it grows out, at least at the start, you don't have this very messy phase. So I slowly repeat this same method throughout the whole scape. I'm really taking my time to glue everything into place and not to glue my fingers together while I'm doing so. So you may start to catch on that I'm actually placing the mosses in very specific areas. So if ever you've taken a stroll in the forest, if you've looked at pictures of forests online, you will have noticed one particular thing, is that the mosses tend to grow almost on one side of the trees. When you look at them throughout a consistent image, they're always on one side. So why is that? It's because maybe on that side there is more light, there is more humidity, there is more airflow. So this is what I'm trying to recreate here to really give it that natural look. So obviously, by all means, this is not 100% accurate. The goal here is to softly mimic what nature would do. It's not to exactly replicate what a real forest would look like, because obviously that would be completely impossible. Here you can actually see me checking that same angle, so it was really coming from the right side all the way to the bottom of the left side of the tank. So I just check my angles in order to know if I add more or less moss on certain branches. Okay, so I'm done gluing all the mosses, and it's slowly, it's like, it makes me happy. It's actually slowly coming to life. It's crazy just the difference a little moss can actually do. Okay, so I'm just going to spare you guys this part. I'm just going to prepare all the carpeting plants the same way I did for the mosses, and then I'm going to separate them into small little sections, so then it's just easier to plant. Just like for mosses, for the carpeting plants, I'm also going to be using two types of carpeting plants. So I'm going to be using Blix japonica, and I'm going to be using Eliocharis, which is known as hairgrass. Again, it's going to look more natural when you mix two types of carpeting plants together. If there's just one, it's going to look very flat. It's going to be the same texture, same color everywhere. And again, for a forestscape, that's not really what I want. So it's just going to give a lot more kind of a natural look. What's also quite nice is the Blix japonica really has these kind of flatter, bigger kind of leaves to it. And the Eliocharis really has these kind of finer leaves. So again, a lot of different textures is really what brings interest into the aquascapes. Okay, now it looks like a forest. I'm officially done planting. That was the longest planting session I have ever done. If you guys want to know what it was like real time, it's like 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to plant this. So now I'm just gonna push it into the corridor of my house because that's where it's going. I'm going to fit the filter and I'm going to fill it up. So overall, not looking too bad. So the tank obviously is quite cloudy, but it's normal because it was filled yesterday. And with this much wood, it's to be expected to have a very big bacterial bloom. So that will probably clear up in the week to come. Good news is everything was glued down correctly because nothing has floated up to the surface yet. So that is still a win. So the filter for this tank is the Hang On filter 200 from Superfish. So this came with the tank. So it has a turnover of, I think, like 450 liters an hour. So it's pretty decent. It's sufficient for a tank like this. In the long run, I do think I want to put a canister filter on this tank. I actually have one, but I can't seem to find the pipes. So I'm going to have to take care of that a little bit later. So there's still a lot of work to be done on this tank. Next up is installing this. So it's the CO2 starter kit from Denali Plants. So I'm very, very excited to use this product because I've actually never used it before. So I'm looking forward to seeing the results with such a kit. So that will be in part 3 of this video. So guys, thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.